Welcome to PP Knowledge Hub. Today we are going to start our first history chapter, The Rise of Nationalism in Europe. In this chapter, we will study how, when and why nationalism emerged in Europe. Before starting our chapter, first we will discuss what is nationalism. What is nationalism? Nationalism is the devotion or love towards our nation. The devotion or love towards our nation, that is called nationalism. Our chapter is starting with a print. In 1848, Frédéric Soriot, a French artist, he prepared a series of four prints. Visualizing his dream of a world made up of democratic and social republic. The print shows that the people of Europe and America, men and women of all ages and social classes, they are marching in a long train and offering homage to the Statue of Liberty. Homage means offering respect publicly to the Statue of Liberty. So you just observe that picture. You can see that the Statue of Liberty is personified as a female figure, and she bears the light of enlightenment on one hand and the charter of the right of men on another hand. Once again observe that picture. We can see many shattered on the earth. We can see many shattered remains. Actually, it is the symbol of absolute institution, means suppressive rule. In Soriot's utopian vision means imaginary view. In Soriot's utopian vision, the people of the world are identified through their flags and national costumes. So I already told the people are marching in a long train. So how these people are identified? These people are identified with their national costumes and flag, and the procession is led by United States and Switzerland. These two countries already became nation state that time, and after that it was followed by France, Germany, people of Austria, the Kingdom of Two Sicily, Lombardy, Poland, England, Ireland, Hungary and Russia. The procession is followed by these all countries. And from the heaven, once again observe that picture, you can see that from the heaven, Jesus Christ, then saints and angels, they are looking this scene. It symbolizes the fraternity among the nation. Now you know image based questions also coming, so I am giving a brief description about the print drawn by Frédéric Soriot. Okay, so we are going to start our chapter. So our first topic, the French Revolution and the idea of nation. The first clear expression of nationalism came with French Revolution. So when the French Revolution happened in 789. That way you can remember it. So French Revolution happened in 1789. We already studied in 9th standard, we studied about French Revolution. France became monarchy under Louis XVI. After that it became constitutional monarchy. Then republican government formed in France. After that directory rule, and then it became military dictatorship under Napoleon Bonaparte. That everything we studied in 9th standard. Now we will study what are the steps taken by French revolutionaries to create a sense of collective identity among the French people. So it is one question answer. Okay, what are the steps taken by French revolutionaries to create the sense of collective identity among the French people? So I will tell point wise, that time itself try to study. So the first one, the idea of la patrie and le citoyen. La patrie means fatherland, le citoyen means citizen. So the first point, the idea of la patrie and le citoyen, it emphasizes the notion of a united community enjoying equal right under a constitution. So first one is clear. The idea of La Patrie and Les Citoyens, it emphasized the notion of a united community enjoying equal right under a constitution. Second one, a new French tricolor flag was introduced. A new French tricolor flag was chosen to replace the formal royal standard. So why the new tricolor French flag was taken? It was chosen to replace the formal royal standard. So the second one, a new tricolor French flag was chosen to replace the formal royal standard. Third one, the Estates General. The Estates General was elected by the body of active citizens and it renamed as National Assembly. The Estates General was elected. We studied in 9th standard what is Estates General. Estates General is the political body of 3 estates. So 3 estates we studied, first estate, second estate and third estate, and each estate they can send their representative. So that is called Estate General, political body of 3 estates. So Estate General was elected by the body of active citizen and it was renamed as National Assembly. Okay, next one, new hymns were composed, oaths were taken and martyrs were commemorated, everything in the name of nation. New hymns were composed, oaths were taken and martyrs were commemorated, everything in the name of nation. Next one, a centralized administrative system was formulated. A centralized administrative system was formulated. A uniform law for all the citizens. A uniform law that was formulated for all the citizens. Next one, international custom duties and dues were abolished and a uniform system of weight and measures were adopted. International custom duties and dues were abolished and a uniform system of weight and measures were adopted. Next one, French became the common language. Many regional dialects were discouraged and the French that was spoken and written in Paris, it became the common language. So with the outbreak of the revolutionary wars, the French revolutionaries, they spread the idea of nationalism into abroad. So these are the main steps taken by French revolutionaries to create the sense of collective identity among the French people. Our next topic is about the Civil Code of 1804 or Napoleonic Code. So before starting this, first we want to know who was Napoleon. Who was Napoleon? Napoleon was a military dictator who crowned himself as the Emperor of France in 1804 and he conquered the entire Europe and he saw it was his duty to modernize the Europe, the entire Europe. It was his duty to modernize the entire Europe. He introduced many laws. Okay, he introduced many laws. Now we will look what are the civil code he introduced. So first one, he established equality before law. Equality before law. Established equality before law. Second one, protection of private property. Protection of private property. Then abolished feudal system. Okay, that existed in France, feudal system. So he abolished feudal system. Next one, freed the peasants from serfdom and manorial dues. Freed the peasants from serfdom. Serfdom means feudal labors. So freed the peasants from feudal labors and manorial dues. That is the next one. And next, guild restrictions were removed. So it made the free trade possible to the traders. So he removed the guild restriction. It made the free trade possible to the traders. Next one, transport and communication system were improved. And last one, uniform law and standardized weight and measure that was introduced. A uniform law and a standardized weight and measures that also introduced. These all called Civil Code of 1804. So this civil code is introduced by Napoleon. That is why it is also called Napoleonic Code. So it is very important, always asking. So these are the main point. First one, equality before law, established equality before law. Second one, protection of private property, abolished feudal system, freed the peasants from serfdom and manorial dues, guild restrictions were removed, transport and communications were improved, uniform laws and measures, standardized weight and measures were introduced. Is it clear? So these are the main points. So we already learned what are the new administrative changes or what are the law taken by Napoleon Bonaparte. Anyway, this new administrative arrangement did not go hand in hand with the political freedom. It restricted many political freedom. So Napoleon Bonaparte or Napoleon's administration or Napoleon's had many drawbacks. Now we will look what are the drawbacks of Napoleon's rule. Okay, so first one, increased taxes. He increased taxes. And next one, censorship were imposed. Many censorship were imposed by Napoleon Bonaparte. Next one, he forced the people to join in the army. I already told it was he want to conquer the entire Europe, so he forced the people to join in the army. So these are the main drawbacks of Napoleon's rule. I think today's portion is clear for you. If you understood my class, please share and subscribe. For getting new notification, press the bell icon and click the all button. We will meet in the next class.